So I've decided I need a spare tire mount. I don't know if I'm digging it too much though. Thinking of coming off here with a piece of square tubing. I need my tire high enough so that it doesn't interfere with the jack handle and doesn't interfere with loading and unloading the winch. So, like I said, I need to think about this for a little bit more, and we're going to do something else this weekend. So we just finished up a 11-day stretch. We was trying to make it some time for lost work while we was off for the snowstorm or whatnot a couple weeks ago. And I'm zonkered. I only get a 1-day break this weekend, but next weekend's a 2-day weekend. So my thoughts were just to get the garage cleaned up. I want to try some different things. We're going to move some stuff around. For example, I got material on this wall, and I got material on this wall. I also have tools on this wall, and I have some tools on this wall. So what I'm thinking about doing is taking everything off this wall that's tool related, moving it over here, and then trying to move these material racks over here. See if I like that more. We're going to do some more rearranging on this wall because I got some issues I just not digging. I'm not liking the welding table. I usually work off this one corner here, and it's throwing all the dust onto the toolboxes. I've had several people mention this, and I don't like it either, but my electrical panel's covered up. So I'm trying to move some stuff around, see if I could solve some of these issues, and just try something different for a while. So y'all just watched me build this in the last video, so a couple, 2-3 weeks ago, and I'm already going to cut it down, modify it, and move it. I'm going to prove to you today, in today's video, just how crazy I am, or maybe not crazy, but how much time I spend doing this stuff, trying to get it perfect. Never happy with it, but I keep trying anyways. So we're going to cut it down, and I think I'm going to mount it right here. We'll have a couple layers, be able to keep our clamps right here. Good little place to stash them, I'm thinking, or at least that's what we're going to try. So we got it cut down, put me a new bracket on it, and now we're going to screw it to the cabinet. Alright, I absolutely hate this. Couple reasons. First of all, I put my long ones in the back, and getting them out and getting them back on is not the easiest. If I would have put my long ones on top, it would have been clear up here. So, just not very accessible. I am a little bit vertically challenged. Like, I could reach these, but the rest is wasted space. So I think what I'm going to do instead, we're going to throw those in the garbage. I have a few more of these panels left that we used on the hutch over here. So I'm going to mount this up here, and we're just going to hang them on peg hooks. See if I like that better. Now, obviously, I kept the screws and brackets because that's just who I am. But otherwise, that's garbage. So this is how bad I got it sometimes. I got them up here. They look pretty cool. But I see a lot of wasted space. And so then I get to thinking, what if I drill a hole in them? I wonder how they'd hang the other way. And then I could alternate some of them. Have some going up, some going down. Get a lot more space out of it. So now, looks like I'm going to drill a whole bunch of holes. Because I like that. At least in the big ones and half the small ones. And try to get them flipped one way or the other. These clamps are going to end up costing me half my day off, it looks like. Well, now that I've drilled a hole in all 12 of my clamps, I got to thinking when I was drilling them out, I didn't want to be struggling when I was putting them away with, does this one hang upside down? Does this one hang right side up? Etc., etc. But it freed up a lot of space doing it this way. I got room for a few items that I've never had a home for. So I'm really digging it. It looks pretty cool. And the next item on the list is the radio. Now, this is something else I just dealt with not too long ago. But I don't like my radio getting covered in sawdust by the radio alarm saw here. So I'm going to move it because I really need this space for, well, you probably guessed it, the organizer bin. Unbelievable. Perfect. So we're going to start on this wall right here. The first thing I'm going to do is move these toolboxes to their final resting, I say final resting place. They may stay there for a month. But anyways, we're going to move the toolboxes and then get everything else in place, get this wall cleaned up. So this is what I've got going on so far. I got my air compressor in the corner. My hose is hung up. I like that a lot. Out of room for cords. I got to find a place for the cords. Drill press has a home. It has power now. I was having to unplug and plug it before, where it was earlier. Then of course the toolboxes got a spot. They look great. And then I got a spot for a future project here. Now I still have all my bar clamps in the floor down here. I think I have a solution for them, but I'm gonna have to clean off the table saw first. Over here we got the welding table. I guess that's gonna be its new home for now. Another thing I did that I like is I got my edge sander to where it's not all turned cockeye in here no more. It's up against the wall, so that's a little bit nicer. But I think to get the table saw cleaned off, I need to address my shelf brackets. Now these brackets, they're only made out of 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch by 1.5 inch angle iron. I built them a long time ago. And if you notice these right here, they have 2 tiers. Now, when I hung these over here, it's supposed to be the matching gap. I got these too high. I think the gap on the double tiers are 8 1/4. And over here I ended up about 6 1/2 somehow. I don't messed up my math, I guess. But I think what I'm going to do is take these down, build some more double tiers out of them so that they'll support the wood with the top tier and metal with the bottom tier. Because what I need is I need one of these racks about every 2 foot for the metal, because metal's heavy and needs a lot more support. So I'm going to start working on that now and see what we could accomplish. I think I got some developments I'm actually digging right now. So over here in the corner, I don't know how well you can see this, I attached a few 2x4s so I can slide this lumber all the way over to the corner. It's got support now. And what that allowed is it actually freed up this bracket over here on the end. I also had to move the top shelf. I did some rearranging. It looks a lot better too, but I moved the top shelf this way as well. So now I got an extra bracket that I can move down here. That's one less one I don't have to make. But it's also going to free up a lot of wall space right here. Good morning. New day out here in the shop. So last night I was moving brackets around, trying to figure out exactly how I wanted to do this. I ended up dropping this bracket right here down. It's a 2-tier bracket. But I realized I need support in 3 areas with this bracket. So this morning I came out here. I welded 2 brackets together, but I still need to get the 3rd leg sticking out here, and we need to cut this off to length. I also have 3 more shelf brackets right here that I need to add a 2nd leg on, because I want support every 2 foot for the metal. The metal's heavy. We talked about this yesterday. So I got a lot of cuts to make, and I have just the tool for that. So this is the Evolution S185CCSL. I just got it in the mail yesterday. Now obviously this isn't the project I bought it for, but it's a cold cut skill saw, similar to the cutoff saw I've featured a few times. And we're going to give this thing a go. I paid $195 for it. I think it's $211 after taxes at Home Depot. So I'm excited to see it. I got some projects for this coming up. We'll really put it to the test. But let's see how it cuts this 1/8 by 1/8 by 1.5 inch angle iron. Wow, that cut through there like butter. There's not really any burrs. It's cold to the touch. I'm already digging it. So I bought this saw for some upcoming projects like I mentioned earlier, and we're going to put it to a torture test. This is just 1/8 inch. We're going to be cutting some 5/16 plate pretty soon. But I wanted to give you some specs on this saw real quick. So I'm going to read it here. This is the Evolution S185CCSL. It has a max cutting depth of 2.5 inches, max cutting depth at 45 degrees at 1 3/8 inches, mild steel plate up to 5/16, and mild steel tubing up to 1/8 inch sidewall. So pretty versatile, especially for a DIY type. They do make a bigger version if you're into heavier applications, but I think this is going to serve me pretty well. Now, for those who don't know, these saws are designed for cutting metal. You could put this blade on a regular skill saw, but you're going to burn it up pretty quick within a handful of cuts. These spin at a slower RPM, just like the chop saw we've had on the channel. So keep that in mind if you happen to see one of these blades and think, I won't throw that on my chop saw. The saws I have to cut metal with the carbide blade are designed for that application. I got our 3-tier bracket done, and while I'm welding up the 2-tier brackets that I got left, I'll show you a couple more cuts with that Evolution saw. So we're doing a fast and nasty paint job on here, over dust and everything. Just make them look somewhat more presentable. All right, we're finally starting to make some progress here. I don't know why. I don't know what the deal was, but these shelf brackets kicked my butt. I fought them last night to the point of aggravation. This morning they aggravated me, and now I'm about done with the garage. I still haven't got it where I wanted it. I wanted to get this expanded metal off and put in the pile of material here just to open up that wall space, but we at least got the cords hanging up there. That'll work for now. I still have my clamps in the floor, but if you notice, I got a bunch of material cut up on the table saw, and I have this little hole right here between the throwout table and the table saw that I think all I'm going to do is throw together a quick little cabinet real quick, and that's where we're going to store the clamps. That way I could get them out of the floor, and we could get the Jeep back in here. We could go on to bigger and better stuff. So I'm going to set up a time lapse real quick, nail this cabinet together, get the last little bit of this cleaned up, and we're going to do something else. Well, I've had about enough of this. We're going to have to go find something funner to do, but we did make some progress. We got a lot of room for an upcoming project. Um, Actually, 2 upcoming projects right here, as long as we have time to knock them out. It looks a little better, I think. I don't know. Over here, I think this wall looks a whole lot better with all the material stored in one place. The little clamp box came out okay. I hate to use that plywood for that, but that's like the 3rd or 4th project I've got out of that plywood. So it is what it is, and it worked perfectly. It used some unused space, so we'll go with that. But we're going to go do something that's even funner. We're going to go pick up more projects. Just what I need. Unbelievable. Well, I came back empty-handed. I went to look at a RV trailer frame. I was going to buy it for all the material that's in it. It's got some 2.5 by 5.5 square tubing. about 3/16" thick. I want it for the rock sliders on the Jeep, but I also wanted it for another project I have coming up. But I got to looking at all the work it's going to take to get usable metal out of it, and I got too many projects coming up as it is, and I got a real major one coming up. Y'all are going to love this one. It's going to change the channel forever, so make sure you stay tuned. I hope you like this video. We kind of just hung out in the garage. Leave your comments down below. Hit the like button. And until we catch you next time, I hope everybody is blessed beyond belief.